Right then guys, welcome back to another video. So, if you didn't see the video from Snetterton recently, let me put this clip in now. No we're not. Done a cobbly. Yeah. One of those doesn't happen to me things happened to me. So yeah, kind of hard to believe looking at the back of it here now, apart from this cracked light cluster, but we crashed. So I'm going to flip the camera around, show you the damage, show you what we need to fix, show you just how lucky we got, and then we're going to get on and start putting it right. We have got so lucky. Zero damage to the quarter panels, everything's fine around the window line, no actual body damage at all. So we've got the light has popped, the bumper popped in, it popped back out, it's obviously cracked, the bumper is scrap. The boot lid had a whack, but I'd already hit that at Silverstone early in the year. That dent is new. That dent is actually old, so I'm not too worried about that. Somehow the wing has got off completely free, no damage to the wing, no damage to any of the brackets. The exhaust took a hell of a whack. We straightened it, and we've actually straightened it slightly too far the other way. That exhaust is unfortunately going to go in the bin. But given what a whack it had, that is pretty immaculate. If you were racing this at the moment, you might even zip tie that back together, put a new cluster on it, and leave it as is. We got off seriously lightly. If I open the boot, in here, amazingly, there is absolutely zero damage. Spin that round, no creases in the boot floor, no damage to the rear panel whatsoever. Really could not have got much luckier there. And it won't be long and we will be back in business. Right, so that's the wing off. The car looks so weird without a wing. It's all rounded and odd. I've just unfed all the wiring from the tailgate. So all the wiring that goes up in here, you'd expect there to be a plug somewhere where it joins around here. There isn't. Bit of a nightmare to get out, but it's done now. So I'm going to unbolt this dead one and get this new one on the car. I'm going to caveat this by saying I've never taken a tailgate off before, so I've got no idea how this is going to work out. Then slacken that. It doesn't seem like it wants to just drop off, which is good, I guess. That seems okay. Pop that off. That's it. One tailgate off.
Early the next morning.
This might be a bit of a cut, but hello and good morning and welcome to what I am going to affectionately call Prawns Tailgate Club. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I messed up. I've got a pretty overwhelming desire not to talk about this, but if we look in here where I've trimmed this out, I have really cocked up. Look at this. There's nothing left of it. I've cut the latch, cut the skin out so much that the latch has gone floppy and it no longer shuts properly. I mean, that has shut, but yeah, it's I took too much out. It's gone floppy as hell. It's no good. I also, I'll show you in here, I cut it down so far that the seal no longer seals, and I've created a razor along here. So I'm pretty unimpressed, and I've now picked up a third tailgate. Right, so this is my old dented tailgate, and as you can see I've cut a lot of the inner skin out of here. So I got the new one and I thought I can probably go a bit further. I'll cut a bit more out. Turns out this was not a good idea. It has lost all rigidity. What a complete muppet. And around the latch, it's even worse. Now I did try to make a little stud to firm that up a touch, but to be honest, the whole thing just bends way too much. Should never have cut this off. So, yep, that one going in the bin. However, some progress has been made. We now have a decent black tailgate on the car with a new black bumper. Forgive the polish. This was in the worst state I've ever seen, and something you're never likely to see me do again is use a polisher, borrowed very kindly from Rob Brody. Right, I haven't filmed loads because I've just been trying to crack on, but lower brackets are on for the wings. They're not done up, but they're in. Holes in the top of the tailgate, two there, two there. They correspond to holes inside, so we are going to drop the wing on, get it all bolted up, and that is the back end wrapped up. Here we go. Sits in there. So there we go. Back end, all back together. One wing, nice and solid. New tailgate, new bumper. Everything is now fixed. And as this is a road car, it's just one last thing to go on. Done. Right, so with the tailgate and the back end fixed, it's time to investigate what, if any, damage I've done to the exhaust. So, car's up on blocks. I'm going to go under it now, check out if we've done any damage to the exhaust further forward. Looking under the car right now, I'd definitely say we've had some movement. If you look at this hanger, that is shifted that way, probably 10-15 mil. This joint used to sit about there. So that's actually not on as far as it was, and yet this section is further back. It's almost a bit of a ridge around there, as if this is closed in and it's started to crush. Coming all the way up to the front here, things don't actually look too bad. Don't know if you can see that mount there, but this is still hanging perfectly vertical. That hasn't shunted forward that way at all. So that's all pretty promising. So we've got some bent tailpipes. We've got the end of this box, which has seen some fairly major trauma. Bit of a shame. So that has bent that way, shoved everything in that way. So the force of that has come onto this pipe, and there's witness marks here where that has gone forward and hit the tank heat shielding. And when you look this way, you can see a crease in the pipe there. And there's a crease in the pipe there, so that whole bend has shoved that way, which explains why when we got the back section on, obviously this is now facing up, so to get the back section on we had to do that, which tilts this end up and naturally means the exhaust sits lower in the centre up there. Right, I'm extremely pleased to report there's absolutely no damage up here whatsoever. So as you can see, we have the enormous Super Flexi, as it's called. So that has taken any kind of shunt there, and as it all hangs, this hanger is perfectly vertical, exactly where it used to be. So very pleased about that. Now you might notice the wastegate pipe missing, so I've taken that out to check that out on the bench, make sure there's no damage on the Flexi on that either. Now you'll notice this is actually now a conventional Flexi section. Now we did that because I used to have the bellows you see on so many, and they used to last about 6 months and then they would fail. So when Badger 5 did this section for me, we're trying a conventional Flexi, and so far it's outlasted any of the bellows type. Right, so that's all checked out. Happy that that's all good to go back on the car. So I'm going to get that back in. Not sure what I'm going to do with this yet, because I'm not sure that's going to sit very nicely when I try and put it all back together. But yeah, get this back in and start putting the exhaust on from the front coming back. Right, that's all back in now. The gate is up in there, as you can see. Very hard to get to if I try and pull out. Got to get your hands up in there. But that's all back in. That's all back on here now. So just the rest to put together. So damage report, the twin silencer at the back is pretty dead. Although it's straightened out okay, where the pipe goes into the box, it goes into a perforated pipe, and I'm 90% sure that's shattered or fractured the perforated pipe off the joint where it folded to such an acute angle, and then we straightened it again. So there's a bit of a funny raspy kind of sound on power there. So for now, the old rear box is going to go back on the car. single exit on the single exit on the left hand side, and we will look into getting another rear box from Enhance, remake the back, although probably slightly different this time, try and tone the noise down a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of where we are with it. Right then guys, another bit of a time hop for you. So I filmed a fairly long and convoluted load of rubbish about how my exhaust was bent and I needed to straighten it. Wasn't that interesting. I've now put the old exhaust back on. Sounds great, looks the same as it used to. No big surprise there. Didn't think it was worth taking 7 minutes of your time to watch me straighten a bent exhaust, if I'm completely honest. So, as you can see, the car is back together. It is currently up on stands following a very successful track day at Donington with Track Obsession. Sat in here on the slicks at the moment, probably going to stay in here for most of winter. Epic surprise to come home to tonight, a custom bright orange Badger 5 hoodie. Massive thanks to the guys at Badger 5, not just for the hoodie, but for all the continued support for like the last decade. Yeah, massive thanks, big shout out to the guys, Bill, Alex and Tufty. So that's it for this one. One crash every 10 years. It's not too bad. It's still a few more than I'd like, if I'm honest. Yeah, a few people are going to watch a video and say we were pushing a bit too hard. Possibly, but that's what we're there for. That's why we do it. And I've been so comfortable with the car moving around all day. I wasn't even bothered when it went. I really thought we'd catch it and it'd be fine. And you know what? That one bit me. Tailgate and a rear bumper from a guy on Facebook, Adam, for 60 quid. And that's it, it's back together. I've even run the polisher over it, it's looking shinier than ever. Big thanks to Rob for the polisher. I really need to return that. Yeah, I think that's that really. We crashed, it happens, it's back together. We've had a fantastic day recently at Donington, which you are going to see very soon. Lessons learned, onwards, upwards, plans for what's going to happen to the car over winter. Got some cool plans for what we're going to be doing with it next year as well. Hope you guys will like this one. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Around 3/4 of you watching are still not subscribed, so if you've made it to the end, yeah, you might want to think about it. But yeah, that's me out. Have fun guys. See you soon.